Drivers who have consumed alcohol before getting behind the wheel. A. Are always aware of the risks they are taking. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. C. Are better drivers because they are more careful than sober drivers. D. Have quicker reaction times. B. Do not have sufficient control over their bodies and minds or the vehicles being driven. Alcohol is a depressant that negatively affects judgment, vision, concentration, understanding of reality, and reaction time. It is never safe to consume alcohol in any amount before getting behind the wheel of a car. Two solid white lines painted across a traffic lane show the boundaries of a crosswalk. As a driver, you should know that A. Motor vehicles have the right-of-way over pedestrians in crosswalks. B. When pedestrians are in crosswalks, they should be given the right-of-way. C. No one has the right-of-way in a crosswalk. D. Pedestrians are responsible to stay out of the way of all traffic. B. When pedestrians are in crosswalks, they should be given the right-of-way. Crosswalk lines show pedestrians where to safely cross a road or street. Crosswalks may be marked by horizontal lines, vertical lines, or a combination of the two. You must always stop for pedestrians who are in a crosswalk. There may be times when 10 miles per hour is too fast for drivers to safely operate their vehicles. A. True. B. False. A. True. Drive below the posted speed limit when safety demands it. Some traffic, weather, or visibility conditions may require you to drive as slowly as 10 miles per hour. An orange and red triangular sign on a vehicle always means A. The vehicle has the right-of-way. B. Slow-moving vehicle. C. Shoulder work ahead. B. Slow-moving vehicle. Slow-moving vehicles, such as farm tractors, road maintenance vehicles, and animal-drawn carts, display an orange and red triangle on the back.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
If you park facing uphill where there is no curb, set the parking brake and A. Turn your wheels toward the edge of the road. B. Turn your wheels away from the edge of the road. C. Keep your wheels facing straight. A. Turn your wheels toward the edge of the road. When parking uphill on a road that does not have a curb, your front wheels should be turned to the right, toward the edge of the road. This will ensure that the vehicle will roll off of the road if the brakes fail. If you have had several beers, the effects of alcohol will be reduced only by A. Taking a cold shower. B. Waiting several hours. C. Drinking several cups of coffee. B. Waiting several hours. The only way to remove the impairing effects of alcohol is to give the body time to remove it from the body. Drinking coffee, physical activity, or taking a cold shower will not speed up this process. It takes about 1 hour to cancel the effects of one drink. What can you do to avoid the need to make emergency stops while driving in traffic? A. Honk your horn to make others aware of your presence. B. Look ahead and maintain a safe following distance. C. Drive in the right lane only. D. Drive more slowly than the flow of traffic. B. Look ahead and maintain a safe following distance. Keeping a safe following distance will enable you to react to an upcoming problem without the need for an emergency stop, which could cause a driver behind you to crash into the back of your vehicle. If you are driving in another driver's blind spot, you should A. Move forward or drop back so the other driver can see you. B. Keep a steady pace. C. Stay in the driver's blind spot. D. Honk to let them know you are there. A. Move forward or drop back so the other driver can see you. Do not drive in someone else's blind spot. Move forward or drop back so that the other driver can see you. If you have a sudden tire blowout, A. Use the brakes lightly. B. Pump the brakes. C. Apply the brakes firmly. A. Use the brakes lightly. If a tire suddenly goes flat while you are driving, hold the steering wheel tightly and keep the vehicle moving straight. Slow down gradually by taking your foot off the gas pedal and using the brakes lightly. When should you yield your legal right-of-way? A. Often, even at controlled intersections. B. Whenever it helps prevent collisions. C. Never. It confuses other drivers. B. Whenever it helps prevent collisions. Never assume other drivers will give you the right-of-way. Yield your right-of-way whenever it helps prevent collisions. You must show proof of insurance to law enforcement. A. Only if you are involved in a collision. B. If you are involved in a collision or stopped for a citation. C. Only if you are stopped and cited. B. If you are involved in a collision or stopped for a citation. You must have evidence of financial responsibility, such as proof of insurance, with you whenever you drive. You must always show proof of insurance and your license to an officer upon request after a traffic stop or collision. The first thing that alcohol affects is A. Vision. B. Judgment. C. Balance. A red flashing traffic light has the same meaning as a solid red light. B. Stop sign. C. Yield sign. D. Caution sign. B. Stop sign. A red flashing traffic signal has the same meaning as a stop sign. When approaching a red flashing signal, come to a complete stop and proceed when it is safe to do so. A stop sign may sometimes also be posted where this signal is located. If you need to drive in foggy weather, A. Turn on your low beam headlights. B. Turn on your hazard lights. C. It is okay to drive at the maximum speed limit. D. Do not drive at a speed above 10 miles per hour. A. Turn on your low beam headlights. You are required to use your headlights during the day when visibility is reduced to 500 feet or less. When you first turn on your headlights, be sure they are adjusted to the low beam setting. Using high beams in fog or rain will cause the light to reflect back into your eyes, lowering visibility even more. When used on roadways, bicycles are considered A. Hazards. B. Vehicles. C. Dangerous. B. Vehicles. Bicycles are considered vehicles when used on roadways. Bicyclists and motorists are expected to follow the same rules of the road. Car drivers should know that large trucks A. have large blind spots. B. can stop more quickly than passenger vehicles. C. do not need more room to maneuver than passenger vehicles. D. all of the above. A. have large blind spots. A large truck has large blind spots to the front, sides, and rear of the vehicle. Avoid lingering in these areas. Because of their larger size and weight, trucks require more room to maneuver and stop than passenger vehicles. When approaching a railroad crossing, warning sign. A. Be ready to drive faster than the train. B. Be prepared to stop if a train is nearby. C. Look for a way around any lowered gates. D. Assume no trains are nearby and continue driving normally. B. Be prepared to stop if a train is nearby. Railroad crossing warning signs are used to warn drivers of the possibility of a train. Drivers should obey all railroad crossing warning signs and never go around barriers or disregard the warning sign. You are coming to an intersection with a flashing red light. You should A. slow down and yield the right of way. B. slow down and drive carefully through the intersection. C. come to a complete stop, check the traffic, and go when it is safe to do so. C. come to a complete stop, check the traffic, and go when it is safe to do so. A flashing red traffic light means the same thing as a stop sign. You must come to a complete stop, yield to other traffic and pedestrians, and then proceed when it's safe to do so. Should you always drive more slowly than other traffic? A. no, you can block traffic when you drive too slowly. B. yes, it is a good defensive driving technique. C. yes, it is always safer than driving faster than other traffic. A. no, you can block traffic when you drive too slowly. You must drive more slowly than usual when there is heavy traffic or bad weather. However, if you block the normal and reasonable movement of traffic by driving too slowly, you may be cited. If another driver cuts you off in traffic, you should A. pull next to the driver and yell at them. B. let it go. C. flash your high beams at the driver. D. get back at the other driver by cutting them off. B. let it go. To avoid the dangers of road rage, you should never take it personally if another driver cuts you off in traffic. Just let it go and continue driving safely. At a railroad crossing, you must A. watch for vehicles that must stop at all railroad crossings, school buses, trucks carrying hazardous materials, etc. B. watch for multiple trains. C. both of the above. C. both of the above. You must approach all railroad crossings with extreme caution and cross only when you know that no train is coming from either direction. Be aware of vehicles that must stop at all railroad crossings, such as school buses and trucks carrying hazardous materials. When a traffic signal light turns green, you should A. yield the right of way to pedestrians. B. accelerate as quickly as possible. C. back up slowly. D. not move until another driver waves you on. A. yield the right of way to pedestrians. A green light tells you that you can go through the intersection. However, you must first yield the right of way to traffic and pedestrians who are still in the intersection. Before entering a roundabout, you must slow down and yield to A. Vehicles in the roundabout. B. Bicyclists in the roundabout. C. Pedestrians in the roundabout. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. When entering a roundabout, you must yield to pedestrians, bicyclists, and vehicles that are already in the roundabout. You exit the freeway on a ramp that curves downhill. You should A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. B. Slow to the posted speed limit for the freeway. C. Wait until you have entered the curve to begin braking. A. Slow to a safe speed before the curve. You should always slow down before entering a curve. You may not be able to see hazards ahead, and braking in a curve may cause your vehicle to skid. When a pedestrian guided by a dog or carrying a white cane is crossing the street. A. You must always yield the right of way. B. You must tell them where to cross the street. C. You only have to yield the right of way if you are at a corner. A. You must always yield the right of way. Blind or partially blind pedestrians may carry a white cane or use the assistance of a guide dog. You must always yield the right of way to a pedestrian who is using a guide dog or carrying a white cane. Unless otherwise posted, the speed limit in a residential area is A. 45 miles per hour. B. 35 miles per hour. C. 25 miles per hour. D. 15 miles per hour. C. 25 miles per hour. When driving in a residential area, the maximum speed limit is 25 miles per hour. If a different speed limit is posted, follow the posted speed limit. This sign means A. One-way traffic. B. Two-way left turn. C. Two-way traffic. D. Minimum speed limit. A. One-way traffic. Regulation signs regulate traffic speed and movement, displaying rules which drivers must obey. This sign tells drivers the direction in which they must drive when turning onto a one-way street. This road sign means A. Slow down or stop. B. Stop, if necessary. C. You must come to a complete stop. D. Drive with caution and be ready to stop. C. You must come to a complete stop. An 8-sided sign always means, stop. You must come to a complete stop and wait for any vehicles or pedestrians to clear the way before proceeding. When the driver behind you wants to pass, you should A. Speed up. B. Go the same speed. C. Slow down to allow room in front of your vehicle for the other driver to complete the pass easily. D. Change lanes. C. Slow down to allow room in front of your vehicle for the other driver to complete the pass easily. When the driver behind you wants to pass, you should slow down so that there is enough room in front of your vehicle for the other driver to complete their pass. This will allow them to complete the passing maneuver in less time and more easily. As you approach an intersection with a flashing yellow light, A. Stop before crossing the intersection. B. Slow down and proceed with caution. C. Wait for a green light before proceeding. B. Slow down and proceed with caution. A flashing yellow light means that you should slow down, check for cross traffic, and proceed with caution.